Bingo.
Check this. He is giving me nonsense again.
Uncle Gary, greetings and salutations and welcome to an episode we have titled Ford. We call it Ford because this is episode 67 of Waved Yellow. But we're not talking about Ford because we're talking about Volksies. And one of the fastest cars that you can actually go and buy from the factory. It is a Polo GTI racing car. When I say buy them from the factory, you really can. You phone up Mike, a couple of other guys, you send them a fax, you pay 300 grand, and you get a racing car, a full-on racing car. Gary, let's take, this is as it comes from the factory, apart from the stickers and all the rest of it. Trinity Protection Service, we'll talk to Damien and Nathan Hammond a little bit later. You'll notice the livery is the same as Sam Hammond, Daddy Hammond, I mean, clearly there is a bit of a link, and his Lamborghini that he runs in the G&H Transport supercars. I've just got to say as well, there are a murr of a lot of mosquitoes around here. I'm itching. Now, Gary, these pins are precious, but I'm itching. It's like itchy AF.
I'm showing people where you've been bitten, but you can't,
Like
we
over
can't see
there
a
and
thing.
over there and over there. Right, so what are we having a look here?
He's playing like an old man again today.
So racing car, what has racing cars got? Little beautiful machine things here, but these are
If you
simple.
pull that, what happens?
Gary, is that as the actress said to the bishop? So let's just start around the outside here. You'll see that there's a little bit of negative camber. Negative camber is when the bottom of the wheel sticks out from the relative to the front. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I think the bit that really counts, Gary, is if you come and have a look here inside the cockpit. And what I'd like you to do, Mr. Cameraman, is you stand on this side, and I'm going to go to this side. Because why? I can.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to say hi. How's it, Nino? Nice of you to join us. It's Nino Venturi, all the way from Meyerton.
The king of Formula Fords in the world, in fact. And actually one of the nicest guys around motorsport. Nino, thank you for everything you do for racing at Meyerton. Right.
But just before you go on, Nino, when are you going to invite us to your racetrack to come and do a Waved Yellow, brother? All you have to do is put in the comment section, we'll be there.
So, traditional kind of racing car layout, relatively simple. Lots of all the brake lines are moved to the inside, the fuel lines are moved to the inside. Very nice and neat. This is a production car. Production in that it comes off a production line at Volkswagen in Uitenhage. Couple of things that are different and that are really interesting. Of course, it's a racing car, so there's carbon fiber. Because why? Carbon fiber is cool. It really is. What we have over here is a power distribution module, PDM. Basically, these switches over here all just control where instead of having switches, you've got these buttons, you turn them on. And the principal reason for having these is A, there's less wiring in the car, and B, you program them on the computer, and you can say to the computer, I only want my windscreen wipers to pull, 9.5 amps. When it gets close to 10 amps, I want you to flash this light to warn the driver that it's pulling too many amps.
That's interesting.
And when it gets to 11, turn it off.
How come we don't have that in our road cars?
Gary, because road cars suck and racing cars are betterer. Because racing cars are fasterer, they've got carbon fiber and unobtainium, and I'm going to show you some silicon.
Just a quick one.
Yes.
Menno Havelaar says, great to be with you guys again.
Well done,
Brett
Menno.
Robinson's in line. Francois Pretorius is in line. And what's that you're playing with? That's
Gary,
a new stick shift.
This is, it runs a 5-speed, 6-speed? 6-speed. I've got to get my technical consultant. Our research department was particularly poor today. Gary, are we concentrating on the wide shots or the zoom shots?
No, I'm just showing people how this gear lever works. So if you move it, I want to see,
So there's a gear lever. It's slightly longer. Now, maths and science will tell you.
Is that a normal sort of H pattern gearbox or?
Well, it's a stick shift. It's non-sequential. So yes, it is an H pattern, but it's got a lengthened gear lever and. In order to just make it closer to the steering wheel, better for drivers. these 3 canisters over here, it's a Tilton master cylinder reservoir, so all the brake fluid goes in here.
Is that
Now-
just brake fluid or brake fluid and clutch fluid, etc., like the
Yes,
things you
but-
normally find in the engine compartment?
Yes, Gary, but we use brake fluid for clutches, so therefore it's brake fluid in the clutch.
Okay.
And the clutch, this is, yeah, anyway. So, and you've got a lovely Tilton box. I believe these come from ATS. And one of the other things here, Gary, is that this, the raised floor area,
Yeah.
it's covered with like a grit. So your driver's feet don't slip and slide
Okay.
and move around. I would have liked to have seen a little heel bar
Like
somewhere over
a
here.
stopper thing stops you moving the heel all the way forward in case you
Absolutely.
need. Okay.
And nice Tilton box and all the rest of it. Really cool steering wheel. Now, a couple of other things that make this car rather interesting. One, it runs Motec electronics. And inside these electronics, it's also got a Wi-Fi system. So when the car comes into the pits, it downloads all the information of lap time, revs, pressures, all that sort of thing, and it downloads that on the Wi-Fi straight into the race controller's system.
Computer, yeah.
And then anybody can go and access that information.
You know,
You've
I
got
actually think that's actually quite an intelligent scenario, because when you think of it, when a car comes into the pits doing whatever they've been doing, the mechanics want to get all over the car. Now you got a guy with a computer with a piece of wire wants to plug it in, so he becomes a fifth guy, for argument's sake, who's actually in the way, whereas he can actually sit back while everybody starts working on car and they carry on going.
Gary, the data guy will tell you that the mechanics are in the way of data, because data is most important. But hey,
Okay.
the other thing that it's got, and there's
Was
a
that
Mozzie.
one
Gary,
for Bob?
There was no, Bob's an engine guy. Gary, the other thing they've got over here is a brake bias adjuster, so that you can adjust the brake balance to the front or the back. F is front, R is for race, and you put it on the back so that you can oversteer. Now, one of the why do you have Gary? Don't start, eh? There's just there are a couple of things. Why don't you just screws the whole thing,
Yeah.
Gary?
Just for madam, this is Nathan
look at
Hammond's
me.
car, number 59. So remember 59, guys.
Just look at me, Bree.
Wait. I've got to get close to this, because you know me and my eyesight, I'm short-sighted. Yes,
Awesome.
Colin.
Gary, I just want you to
Okay, Colin, I'm looking.
Focus. Check my eyes.
I'm watching.
Gary,
Yes,
I
got
want you
him.
to focus, Bree, because
Serious?
this Gary, this is a serious business.
Okay.
We've got a global audience that is ginormous. They are knowledgeable. They are intelligent, and this, like joking around, just doesn't work. Gary, focus, Bree.
Right, guys,
So now
I've
we've
just been put in the poo.
No, I've cocked him out. So let's go to the other end of the car. And I knew it. No, don't rescue me.
I'm not
Practice.
going to say a word. Colin
Gary, I did
has now
practice.
got his finger wherever.
And I
Woo!
opened
He got it.
Was it this finger or which one do
Colin,
you think?
family show, behave yourself.
Gary, it is a family show. So, how cool is this? That the things that when you open a bonnet, it's not color coded because the car is black and yellow. Because what do you need to do when you open the bonnet? You need a stick to hold it up. There are no broomsticks here, but there's coded yellow. Oh my God, it works. Then you need to check, is there any oil in the car? So you need a dipstick. Now imagine if you had a
I suppose it's coloured yellow.
yellow. Right, so there's engine and stuff and what. And the really nice thing is they've taken off those plastic junky covers. It's a 2-liter turbo.
So
It's
for
got a-
all the guys that own a Polo, guys, this is what it looks like without the plastic on top.
there's wires and stuff and
See?
things.
So whatever you do,
Don't ask me what they are. There's a seal here because you're not supposed to change stuff. And there's like gank, and check this.
check it this.
Gary, I can't see there.
Terry Band taking advantage of something again.
Terry, do you like my shirt?
That's what he
Bruce?
just said.
It's got a little
Autobahn,
thing here.
thanks.
I need another one, Autobahn. Autobahn is still, even though the experimentation with us is on pause, they are still the finest spares shop in the world. Check them out.
Okay, enough.
Okay, what I want to do, Gary, is talk about the uprights over here. And this is the top of the McPherson strut. And these little cap screws here hold this part here from moving in and out.
Okay, that's cool.
Now, if you go to a little bit of a wider shot, and we'll see that this thing has got camber on it.
Okay.
If you want more camber on the car, you move this top that way, and it makes this wheel go like that. If you want less camber, you move the top out, and it comes out. As a secondary little, because whatever you do has consequences in life. And you make choices, and there are results of the choices. So when you move this over here, you change the roll center of the front of the car, which is the imaginary center. Some of us have got imaginary friends. Suspension has got imaginary centers. And those imaginary centers is when you see a racing car and it rolls, and there's a height of the center of gravity, the weight. So in other words, all this engine stuff and metal, heavy metal, it sort of sits somewhere around about here. That's where the front center of gravity, the instantaneous around here, sits somewhere around about there. In an ideal world, you want a roll center to coincide with that.
Okay.
But
that
there's all
makes
sorts
sense.
of other stuff, and we'll get into the technical issues of McPherson strut suspensions in the future. But I just want you to be aware that every time you move this, it changes the roll center, and you do other stuff which has difference in weight transfer, and gonk, and et cetera, and whatever, and so on and so forth.
And
So,
and that
that's
brings
about
us,
it.
Yeah, and just,
So I'm going to close this now.
while you're
because-
closing that, I'm just going to highlight this other car because this is the number 59.
Gary, you're
Of the-
dyslexic, China. It's 95.
That's what I said, 95, 59, same thing.
Well, this one's 59. So if you check in your mirror and you see 59 coming towards you, you've got to think, is it 59 or 95? So I want to go and talk to number 95.
That's what Damien's hoping for, that everybody only ever sees 59 instead of
Gary,
95.
let's go and talk to these oaks here. Because
All right. While we're getting them,
I've gotta work
them
this
together, I just want to say to Angelo, thank you very much. By the way, Tuka wants to know where you can buy those shorts.
Tuka,
Tuka Mechanicos wants to know where you can buy those shorts.
never mind the shorts, Brew. It's the pins that count, brother.
Okay, Tuka, now you've got it.
Right, so here we've got the Hammonds. One of you is 59, one of you is 95. I'm going to take a wild guess that Damien, who's the youngster, is number 95. Do you know how I know that, Gary? Awesome memory skills. Also looking at the car number. And just so that I remember, Nathan, I told you I'm bad with names. Falcon Tire, GTI, this weekend, you oaks are nervous. And Damien, I know you're even more nervouser than everybody. But are you looking forward to it?
Yeah and no at the same time, because I'm nervous, but I'm also wanna do well. So
What is doing well in your book?
finishing and doing the best what I can do, and
What is that? What do you think you can do? When?
pole position. That's shooting for the stars. You have to keep it a bit realistic for the year. So hopefully, let's say 20. Yeah, 15, 20.
Okay, so you've been at you're based at Swartkorps. Clearly, every Wednesday has been spent. Before the year, you're not allowed. I mean, you're allowed free running until the first race. Is that correct?
As far as I know, yeah.
Well, as far as you hope.
As far as I hope, yes.
But you haven't been racing for a long time. Beginning of last year?
Yeah.
And now, what's the plan? Because you don't just go and, well, suck it out of your thumb. Let's go and race polos. You've got a bigger plan this year.
Yeah. Well, we're looking at the 9 hour at Kyalami at the end of the year.
Because Daddy's got a few cars.
Yeah, Dad's got a McLaren.
And is it the McLaren or the Lambo that you guys are targeting?
McLaren. It's
Ha-
the GT3 spec.
And you've driven the McLaren?
Yes, but also no. Not driven it, but
Just sort of played so that you can get an idea of what it feels like.
yeah, just playing around.
Is it cool?
It's awesome.
Just look at the camera and give it a smile.
It's awesome. The car is
awesome? Fully awesome?
amazing awesome.
Right, so this is your the first race in polos, clearly there's a bit of stuff that's gone through your minds, what you're going to do, what the plan is. Because if you haven't got to go into racing without a plan, what is the two big things for each of you that you're looking for this year, or this race?
For this race?
Yeah.
Well, basically finishing, first of all, and then being able to set a good result, just to be able to show the Oaks that, listen, we aren't just two boys that's been racing for a year that's now competitive. We want to be up there and be able to bash it out with the big names.
Okay, that's his objectives, Damien. Yours?
What more can I comment on that? I mean, he basically said the whole package. So we're just going to go out there, do our best, and see where it goes from there.
So 18 years old, 20 years old. I think it's really cool that kids today, I'll call you kids, don't worry, you can call me Wim, it's fine. At least I'm not as Wimified as
Gary.
Is,
So,
this
well,
time,
Gary-
is this time I step in to try and defend myself?
Gary, you are defenseless.
No,
Because
so I just
when it
thought
comes to old,
I
you
thought I'd
win.
stand here, then the three of us can take you on.
That's fine, anytime.
Because he's been pulling the Mickey
So
out
I
of you.
just want to say
And
that,
I'm about to pull the Mickey out of you. So what?
guys, you're going into your first race. You are super nervous. Take a deep breath, align your chakras, chill. It's just a drive
Ask him what a chakra
with
is.
just a drive with a bunch of other well-mannered, kind, caring souls and a lady. And I'm sure it'll be good.
Door-banging dudes.
But don't be worried. Gary,
Fender bender.
it's the first race of the Falcon Tires.
I'm glad you got that out. I thought you were going to say something else.
Gary,
It's a family show.
family show, and I want you to focus. This is serious business. There are 3,485,000 viewers. Focus, Gary. The Falcon Tires Volkswagen GTI Challenge. What kind of petrol are you guys using this year?
As far as I know, there isn't a fuel sponsor yet.
So what are you going to use? Jungle Juice?
No. What Uncle Leroy puts in the car, that's what we use.
Uncle Leroy. Who thought that Leroy Polter would ever be called Uncle Leroy? Right, the Hammond boys. I want to say to you, fantastic, good luck. Be safe, be kind, be happy. Most of all, enjoy what you do. The result actually doesn't count, unless it's last. Go and give it horns, learn, and have some fun. Any last words?
Pretty much that's all.
You like the Iceman. He doesn't say a lot of words. Yes, no, maybe.
Kimi Raikkonen, do.
I'd just like to say thank you to Trinity Security for the great sponsorship, and Rap My Ride for the amazing rap that they gave us, and then Dad for the support that he's given us so far.
You see, they learn them young about mentioning the sponsors.
That's
Guys,
fantastic.
Gary,
That's fantastic. No,
I only follow about
Don't
maths and
mention them,
science.
there's no money.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not quite finished.
frickin' mosquitoes.
Yeah, because I just want to tell a couple of guys that saw our burst of info
So
earlier.
there's other stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
So no, I'm not trying to detract from what we're doing
No,
here,
no,
but
no,
there,
no,
but
no,
there's
no.
certain amount of reality. And those guys do not understand certain things about motorsport and make the chirps like there's a BMW here and there's an engine there and there's a back. Guys, stick around, get your facts straight, number one.
Ooh, Gary.
Don't take chances because we will catch you out. That's number two. And number three, listen. Watch.
Okay.
Because if you go back and watch that intro video, we told you everything that everybody chirped about.
So who's whining?
You know,
who's
you're
whining?
Mr. Pim.
So, sorry. Okay. So, I nearly said that horrible word.
Yes, don't.
The petrol word. GTC, Global Touring Cars, are racing at Desi Raceway this weekend. See, Gary, I got
yeah.
it. We've been around the Formatos. I actually raced against Mick before he became Michael. Not against him, but in the same race.
Gary, do you know that this guy was jawling with your old man?
Gary was
I'm talking to Gary from Martin now, not any other Gary.
Gary was smaller, and I think he was still in nappies then. But anyway,
I'm not going there.
so they took a big risk. They invented the series. They built it. They ran it. They invested a lot of time, blood, and money. There are many detractors on it, and South African motorsport is full of naysayers and
Yeah,
detractors.
correct.
And frankly, to all of you people who are negative, pick yourself up, turn around, and ride off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Or change your mind and be positive. Motorsport is a circus. It is one hell of a big circus. And if we, all of us, want to play in this circus of clowns, we need to make sure that the circus is healthy, vibrant, and growing. So, number one, stop criticizing, get off your ass, and do something positive to make sure it works. Now, I'm nearly finished my rant, Gary.
That
the
means I've
Formatos,
got to wait.
yeah, it means
That must
don't
wait.
interrupt me. I'm on a roll. The Formatos put in a bucket load
Hope
of
he doesn't
work.
fall
They
off the
found a
chair.
good sponsor who turned out to be not so good. And times they are a changing. What we do know is that there's freedom for oil sponsors now, freedom for petrol sponsors. What we do know is that all 8 cars are back on the track.
Bingo!
There's a new manufacturer involved in the series. So you've now got Toyota going directly against Volkswagen, Audi directly against BMW. So you've got this wonderful mix of manufacturers having a go at each other.
That's right.
And something else I want to say is that when one door opens, closes, another door opens. All you got to do is wipe the poo out of your eyes and that horrible taste you have in your mouth, look up, check the sunset, and make shit happen. And that is actually what's going to happen now at this weekend. So Thursday, apparently, we've been invited to the Toyota Gazoo Racing launch. Thanks for the hints, guys. I mean, like we were.
Yeah,
Gary,
Michael, thanks for the invite. Really appreciate it. We're going to be there.
I want to know how we... Frickin' mosquitoes. No, serious, Gary. They just like... There's blood.
Anybody got any WD-40? We sprayed on his legs and he jumps like a bunch of you. Then the mossies can't catch him.
Gary, I hate mosquitoes. And I want to know, anybody out there, please, find me an animal that eats mosquitoes, apart from a chameleon, because, well, chameleons don't do it. So that's my story about the racing. Be positive, be kind, and look for growth. And actually, one of our founding sponsors of this show is the DBAC movement, DBAC.
Yeah, if you guys don't know what it means,
DBAC.
there's a little thing called Google.
Go and Google it.
Just Google it. It works.
It is the world's finest movement ever.
Yes. But getting on from that.
I'm all rented out now.
Yeah. No, what I like from, because we've taken us to a new level, because we're talking about the pinnacle of South African motorsport. Here we're sitting with 2 youngsters coming into the game. First time hitting a national championship series.
And check how they're nice and quiet and they're letting 2 old farts
rabbit. I'm going to ask the youngest one first.
What's his name?
This is Damien.
Very good.
Yeah.
Number 95.
Yeah. Number 59.
Do you know
remember 59, eh?
Do you know how I knew that?
Because all the guys behind you is going to see 59. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you be keen to get into a GTC or GTC2 car in, let's say, 2 years' time?
Yeah, I think I would like to get into GTC2 or GTC car because it's that one step forward. And if you don't take that one step forward, you won't progress in the motorsport. So you would have to do it.
So now I'm going to ask you the same question but slightly differently. Only because you're the older brother. Okay. So the day he steps up to GTC2, you're going to GTC.
Yeah.
Correct.
Hopefully.
If you had that opportunity to go to GTC, what car would you like to drive?
Toyota.
Michael, trainee, happy coming away.
Hold on, never mind, Michael. Mom? Glenn? You see?
You see?
Right, Gary, it's about that time because we've been talking cock for long time.
And I've got to go and do things.
There's great racing on this weekend at Desi. There's some
For those who don't know where it is, it's in Port Shepstone, south of Durban.
That's down
Far
on the
south,
map.
far south, yeah.
So the airport's here and you drive for 2 hours and you get to there.
Just don't blink,
Gary?
because 3 hours later you end up in Toti. I've got to go and do something. I'm out of here. Bye.
Thank you very much for watching us. This has been episode 67. We'll call it Ford. Did I mention that Ford cheated in when they in the 67th race, when they ran GT1 cars so that they could win in an anniversary. Anyway, GT40 car, 40 inches from the ground, absolutely magnificent. Thanks for watching us. Join us next week. I don't know when it's going to be. It's waved yellow. Be prepared. Thanks. Cheers.